Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's fair to say this is a big one. We are here for a especially late AEW Dynamite preview. This is a big night. There's a lot of excitement. I'm fired up. I hope you're as excited as I am. And I'm glad to see so many of you willing to spend this last couple hours here with me. We don't know what's going to happen here, right? There could be news that breaks. If there is, and it's very spoilerish, I will genuinely try my best to just scratch it. I will not, but I assume TK is going to be sending some tweets. I assume there's a whole lot that's going to be going on. I just saw that AQA has been booked tonight, which is awesome. This is going to be a ride, I think, folks. Obviously, as usual with the Wednesday shows, this is going to be mostly question and answer here in the chat. So shoot, and I will try my best. We are doing bobber chats, folks. You should there on the pinned comment see a link. If it is not there, which it may not be. Okay, let me try and fix this for you because I understand this is a major technical difficulty. Let me link this here. Now, full disclosure, I've said this before, folks. Do not swear about sending a super bobber chats or whatever they call these things, because quite frankly, I'll probably answer your question anyway. It is simply for specific support. There you go. There should be a link in there now. In fact, I need to catch up on that, and I will do so here shortly. It will not be just me in the review, Josh. I'll be joined by our brand new free agent signing, the wonderful Miss J Shell. I call her that every time now because she calls me Mr. Joseph, which initially felt like an insult, but now I roll with. Yes, the only reason I don't put it in the description is because I don't want to beat you guys over the head with it. I think the reason it got knocked out of the pinned thing was because, well, you get what you get, I suppose. Okay. Let me quickly pull that up because I do know we're behind one. The pal JJ sent us one. And I'll read that here. Let's get a shot out. He said this was yesterday. He said, I'll be the first to congratulate Jay Shell and welcome her on board to the Late Night Grin. Not only is TNA paying her, I am too. Well, news to me, you're doing the PayPal. That does me a great favor. Yes, the link is streamlabs.com/Late Night Grin. So nothing too complicated. We'll get ourselves an actual link here at some point. This is exciting, right? There's been a lot of kind of moving pieces today. I have settled on two names based on purely reading between the lines. I have no scoops, as many of you will know. I simply have played, just seeing what those that have the scoops have suggested, the certain phrasing. It appears to me right now that we're going to get Keith Lee as well as a Jay White-esque figure. There's another name that fits that bill in terms of a New Japan star. I'm going Jay White right now. Reason being, it gives you some Forbidden Door. You get the free agent signing. And I know, folks, Tony Khan said, we're going to do it. They're one and the same. I understand that. But I just get the sense we're in for more than one debut tonight. And I'm not sure it'll be, more than one full-time signing. I think that'll be Keith Lee. But I think we may get an extra person. And Jay White, I think, is currently, in my mind anyway, the leading candidate for that. If you guys see a TK tweet or anything of that ilk, please alert me. I will read it as soon as I can. Yes. Okay. Let me have a look. Yeah, Juice Robinson. I've seen this name come up a lot, and Brucey says it for me. But just to expand quickly here, I think as talented as Juice is, I'm not sure this is the spot for him in the most diplomatic, polite way possible because I like the guy. But you get what you get. This is the other name that I kind of referenced. It will be certainly an interesting response. He did say they're one and the same. So to be clear, if there is not two debuts, I will not be mad or disappointed. I just simply am saying what I sense will be happening here tonight. We have news. It is not real news, but it will pop the 30 of you that watch the Late Night Grin. Here we go. The confirmed shoot of Late Night Grin fame has alerted me to a Gabe Sapolsky tweet, which I know you was all waiting for tonight. He says, and I quote, I thought AQA would walk into WrestleMania as a champion one day. Also one of the best talkers anywhere. This is an under-the-radar acquisition with first-round draft pick potential. Folks, we'll be getting business analysis all night from Gabe Sapolsky. Please lock in here to Late Night Grim for the direct updates on Gabe's opinions. So here's the deal that I wanted to talk about. And folks, again, I'm going to miss some of your stuff just because there's a lot to talk about. And, we have to kind of, we'll see how the things pan out. Now, I think Keith Lee is the Isaiah Cassidy match, to be clear. I'm saying it clear with where I'm at personally. What makes Jay White interesting is what kind of angle are we talking about with Jay White? Because right now we have 3 matches booked. Unless I'm mistaken, we have 3 matches, right? Serena Deeb is wrestling. Is that just been announced? Tell me if TK has announced that. If we have 3 matches, 4 matches, whatever it is, and one of them's a Jade match, I don't think Archer and Hangman need a lot of time for main event standards. It opens up a lot of time for these big angles, right? MJF's going to have a long promo. The Inner Circle segment's a big one. I just wonder, 5 minutes rookie challenge with Deeb. There you go. Yeah, so I just wonder, and Brent brings it up here about the infamous big angle that I speculate about for many months without much detail. AEW Twitter, there you go. Deeb is doing a 5-minute rookie challenge tonight. There you go, folks. I just wonder if there is some form of big, expansive Jay White angle that may take place tonight. Now, I do not necessarily know what this is. Full disclosure, going to be completely transparent, okay? However, it's certainly interesting to kick around the idea of a kind of hostile takeover angle or some kind of major main event angle. Here's my kind of thought. Is there a chance they use a Jay White to juice up the upcoming pay-per-view main event? Is there a chance that instead of an Adam Cole and Hangman Page, it is actually an Adam Cole, Hangman Page, Jay White triple threat? I don't know. Is there a chance that we get a multi-man of sorts of the pay-per-view? Perhaps. I just think there is something different about this today here, right? And this is not, again, let me stress again, this is not a scoop, this is not news, I'm not reporting anything. It's just a guy speculating based on what he's read and seen today. The same stuff that you've read and seen, nothing, more than that. There is this sense, a palpable sense, that something different is happening today. The way the show has been formatted with these late announcements, the way that Tony, the particular phrasing he's using, and there was that quote about it all makes sense, or the questioning will probably continue. It feels like we're going to get kind of a range of answers here. And what I mean by that is not a range of talent. I just mean, I don't think this is just a case of just Keith Lee. And now let me be clear here. That is not an indictment of Keith Lee or anyone. Just to be clear, I'll say this now, guys. Try to avoid a genuine spoiler in the chat. Like if someone's backstage, just don't post that here. I'm not going to talk about it because, I understand this is supposed to be a place where people can just chill before the show. So I'm going to be speculating, not reporting. It's just full disclosure. Joseph, how long until you try to convince yourself Jay White is coming in to join the Elite so they can have a fourth in preparation for TK getting Rod Strong? Absolutely. It will take me about 2 hours. Let me do the review show first. There you go. Goldie says it. Part of the vibe for this, part of the excitement for this is this weird sense of the unknown. And if it is just Keith Lee, I'm not going to sit here and get mad about it. Keith Lee's a hell of a talent. And in their minds, he could be a tippy-top guy and a major player. Maybe he should be. However, it feels like there's more, right? I don't think I'm being kind of sarcastic or mean-spirited in saying it. Just feels like there's more that's on the way here. And we will see. This name crossed my mind earlier, I have to say. With the announcement talk, I did wonder if we were going to see Regal. Certainly interesting. It does not feel like we have much Samoa Joe talk, and I'm sure you have phrased this as dunk because much of my audience roots for my pain and agony, which I respect. But it does not feel like much movement on the Samoa Joe front. Dave Meltzer's tweet was a false dawn in that regard. Many people sent it to me, but it does not necessarily mean it is happening, unfortunately. Okay, my pal Tim has sent in a Bobber chat, super chat. You can send yours in streamlads.com/late night grin. You can send yours in now. He says, we all excited for Cody to debut. Sent in my fine early. Well, I respect that. Listen, I'm not dismissing the Cody thing, but we all know that if they do it, they're going to follow up with some big time debuts in angles, right? So I'd be surprised, but I'm not dismissing it. Yeah, this is going to be certainly interesting. 100 grinners, we're close, guys. We're close. By the way, if you're in here and you don't think this show sucks, try and hit the thumbs up. Apparently that helps us on the infamous algorithm. This is a fair question. And if that makes you think it's more Ospreay, then God bless us all. It's interesting if TK's announcement isn't talent. And this is the other thing too, is what is Tony Khan's announcement, right? Because the talent was posting that graphic, but the like official AEW account I don't think did. And it very much seemed like the announcement was just instead a case of the talent that was coming through the door. I don't know. There's a lot of kind of vague talk in terms of what Tony's going to do tonight. But as Jason says, absolutely the case. He's certainly acting like something major is going to happen. And I don't know if there's a single free agent that kind of fits the bill for that, you know? I see a lot of people speaking about one idea, so I'm not going to read that in case that is a scoop. Yes, Ospreay or Jay White would not be signing. They would be instead a Forbidden Door guest, visitor, angle, etc., with Keith Lee being the signing, to be clear. We are over 100 grinners right now. Thank you, Tony Khan, for all you've done for our business. I don't know what the deal is with that, guys, that announcement. I don't know. It could be a scoop. I don't know. It would pop me huge if the whole thing tonight was just an announcement of the video game. Just Kenny comes out and just unveils some footage. Okay, it looks like there's no scoops. It's just simply people pondering possibilities here. Now, I'm intrigued. I want to do a little game here in terms of Keith Lee. I would say at this point in the game, I am genuinely around 70% confident that we see Keith Lee tonight. Am I crazy? Chat, if you have a strong opinion on this, drop your percentage now as to the likelihood that we see Keith Lee tonight. It really feels like there's an awful lot of signs pointing us in that direction. I could be wrong, but you tell me, folks, where are you at on this? Drop a percentage there in the chat. I'm intrigued. My God, Joe out the gate with 90%. Buddy Matthews, we're gonna miss him tonight, guys. That'll be next week for him. Yeah, there's a lot of confidence. I wasn't even near the high number on Keith. It's hilarious that we're in a time where where Mia's post really only just like encouraged the thought that Keith was coming, right? Riley has sent in a super chat that's not really a super chat. We appreciate it because we get more of a cut than if it was an actual super chat. You can do that, streamlabs.com/late night grin. He says, I think Tony's big announcement tonight is the announcement of the Tag Team Casino Battle Royale. Well, that would be interesting, certainly polarizing. It would have to come with the introduction of a new tag team, I think. Not that I have anyone in mind. Yeah, Evan brings it up. The Fiddle Detective, they went straight to, looking at old pictures and shit, and that made it seem even more certain that she was just trying her best to hide the inevitable. But again, and I can't stress this enough, if tonight is just Keith Lee and a kind of business-based announcement, whether it be a TV show or whatever it may be, or trios, as Dave points out, I will not be mad or like that's. But Keith Lee is a big deal. I'm probably not as high on him as some of the people in the chat are. But I remember when he was released, everyone agreed that's an inevitable signing. So I'm certainly not here to undermine what Keith will be as an individual. But man, it's It feels like there's some more. Folks, I'm being told that Fightful Select has posted. I will not be saying what Fightful Select have said. If you do want to see it, obviously go and support Folks Fightful Select, but please do not post it in the chat because a lot of people are trying to get through to Showtime here, which is only a touch over 90 minutes away. So, okay. Super Grins, that's what we'll call them. Super Grins, streamlabs.com/late night grin. This comes to mind, right? The Briscoes. It feels like the pay-per-view is the last day that we can kind of, I don't want to say expect them, but kind of like if they don't come up by then, it feels like it's time to probably move on. Okay. What else we got here? I'm trying not to touch on the Fightful Select thing because I don't actually know. I don't actually know what that says. Yes, it is easy to forget. And this is the thing, right? I think part of it with Keith Lee is that to the wider audience, maybe they saw the Raw stuff, which obviously, was limited, not because of his fault, but just for a couple of different reasons. It's creative and health, most importantly. But it's easy to forget that we're only 2 years removed from him being like one of the hottest guys in the industry, right? There's no reason to think they can't recreate that. So, okay. This is an angle I pitched earlier. I don't think it's happening right now because, Samoa Joe would make me too happy, right? But with that being said, there would certainly be saying that angle is interesting. Him as Punk's backup. There's something to be said for that. Right, what else we got here in the chat? I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to catch up. I think this would be a mistake, Riley, to be frank. I think this match would be very much would benefit from a shorter run time, to put it lightly. I think, especially with Archer's relative inactivity as well. That's just me. Maybe I could be surprised. Try to keep scoops out of the chat, please, guys, because it's tough. Yes, there are 2 women's matches tonight, which is pretty cool. Yeah, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. I agree. You think the joke that Athena is a rookie? I could definitely see them having fun with that rookie thing. I wouldn't expect it, but I definitely wouldn't. It definitely wouldn't surprise me if I did the old school angle there, right? Okay. Joey, no scoops. Exactly right, guys. Better no scoops than all of them. That's my take. Okay. Yeah, it'd be interesting. This definitely feels in play. This rookie thing has got kind of classic wrestling angle written all over it. Okay, we have a couple more Grinner chats, is what we settled on, right? Okay. We have from Meech. He says, very excited. Must not allow myself to put too much expectation on this. If there are surprises that TK has kept, it may be a crazy post-show, factual. I think it'll be fun on the post-show regardless. In fact, we have a guest here. I'll let him welcome himself on because he has the power to do so. Maybe he's not gonna. Oh, the overlay, of course.
So yeah, I thought about that. I was like, I came in and I was like, "What do I just add myself, or do I wait?" Or
I just said it right. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Quickly here, we have another Grinner chat from Cody who says, "Mr. Holbert, long-time watcher, first-time Super Grin. As good as AQA is, don't you think TK should focus more on the current underused talent? Also, Dr. Baker has just 1 match under her belt this year. Keep grinning." Certainly interesting. I think, she's such a kind of intriguing free agent that it's worth breaking whatever rules you have regarding that, right? I think you got to let it play out on that front. But I understand the question. What do you think, Shoot?
I feel like they're going to sign her.
Yeah.
I don't think they put her in this spot unless they're going to sign her.
Right.
So yeah. Hi guys. I don't want to distract from the chat. I'm basically just here till my dinner gets delivered and then I'm leaving. So needed to kill 20 minutes.
Do you have official exclusive news?
No.
Are you sure? Have you talked to Tony Khan today?
No, I haven't heard from Tony today. He's been very busy.
He has? Okay, makes sense. Man, I mean, it depends what you consider busy, right? Doing an interview with every source other than ours is probably, I guess he is busy in some ways.
He hired Jim Bob Cooter for his offensive staff for the Jacksonville Jaguars today.
Good move?
Yeah.
Well, he's having a hell of a day, isn't he? Okay. Shoot. Gut feeling right now on who we're getting tonight, buddy.
Keith Lee and Jay White. And possibly Mustafa Ali.
What about Shane McMahon?
I have my I've already given my theory on Shane McMahon. There's only one good use of him in AEW.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Um,
It is DoorDash for the people in the chat asking. Yes, it's Italian food.
what's more likely, Shane McMahon or Mustafa Ali?
Mustafa Ali.
God, it would be incredible. It was fucking. Could you imagine? I would be excited about Shane McMahon for approximately 30 seconds and then be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. It's like Mustafa Ali comes out and then Tony just logs on and tweets "Get fucked" at WWE, and that's like
Right.
off we go.
Fair. Now, what do you think the chances are of a more business-oriented announcement? You know, maybe a TV thing, an event thing, maybe a head of creative or wrestling operations thing. What do you think?
I'm not convinced that there is an announcement. I think it's very possible that everyone's not on the same page here today.
Yes.
Maybe there is, but like there hasn't been a single tweet from the actual AEW account about that announcement. So I don't know. I wouldn't get too.
The wording's tough, right?
Yeah.
But it was weird because they definitely sent it to the talent, right, and said, "Post this screenshot."
Right. I mean, it's possible. Maybe there is another. I see the chat saying maybe the 5th pay-per-view.
Craven Cottage.
Yeah. There you go.
Which would pop approximately 2% of the live viewing audience.
And me, yeah. Be the one guy in America like, yeah.
Is it with the way that he's done this, there is such a sort of like, there's this vague terminology he's using, right? And it's interesting because there's a good chance the announcement is cut, or sorry, the news, the reveal, whatever it is cut and dry, and that just kind of is a lost piece of history. But there's also this undying thought in my head that there's a reason he's using all this weird sort of like.
Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that we're getting a crazy show tonight. Now, are we talking crazy as in it's going to be like an all-timer that we'll never forget? I don't know about that, but I think it's going to be very I don't know the right word. Chaotic.
What are the chances that after Jay White's appearance tonight, we have to block Jack Crosby's number?
Very high.
Yeah, agreed.
Very, very high. He's been very hostile today, guys.
At one point, Shoot said, and I quote, "Have you considered going outside and touching a blade of grass? Because he's so concerned about Jack's." So, how would you just violent, hostile approach to things?
Yeah. I don't know what his problem is, man.
He's all in on Jay White, and he refuses to budge. He has made my Samoa Joe fandom seem tame by him. He's been very aggressive, right?
Yeah, I've been very uncomfortable with the content of the group chat today.
Always am.
Yeah, fair. Fair.
Okay, folks, let's get some more questions in here. Do you think the inner circle breaks up? That's a great question that everyone has forgotten is a thing that's happening tonight. What do you think, Shoot?
On some level, yes. I don't know if they fully break up tonight, but I definitely think if nothing else, we get the start of it. I don't think. Let's put it this way: when that segment ends, I don't think all 5 of them will be in the ring still.
It feels like Hager and Jericho are going to kick the shit out of the baby faces, I think. The question, I guess it depends, is King there? Because King could be a big factor in the segment, right?
Yeah.
He could interrupt the meeting.
Yeah, one of the Turner account tweeted him and asked him if he was going to be there, and he said no, which of course means yes. So
that rules.
Yeah.
I agree with this completely. Sammy is the kind of X factor of like what this looks like, right? I mean, I guess there's an argument that you just have Sammy as the heel with Jericho again, but that feels like a mistake. He needs to stand on his own here, right?
I wouldn't turn Sammy.
So then it becomes a question of what does that look like? How do you have Sammy in this segment Do you have someone take him out beforehand? So there's kind of an exit route
So-
because you have to say it, right?
Do the Briscoes show up?
To join the new inner circle.
That doesn't even make sense. What am I talking about?
I don't know. You just frustrating me.
Good
Just
Lord,
throwing
man.
shots my way.
Yeah, that doesn't make
Samoa
it. What am
Joe
I?
show
Yeah,
up.
I got my wires crossed there. I wasn't
mean,
expecting to be here. I was not prepared.
you usually take notes.
No.
No. Okay, fair.
I think Hager's contract would be up in October. To answer the chat, that would make sense. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, we don't know that for sure, but that would make sense. Someone asked if Craven Cottage show would have to be a pay-per-view. I don't think it would have to be a pay-per-view. I could see them doing.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. Right? The Arthur Ashe format feels like a good fit for that.
Yeah.
You
And
run it on Wednesday.
Yeah, it'd be a slight tape delay. That
slight, and then
couple
Friday's
hours. Yeah.
right. Friday's the normal tape delay, right? So
So,
I think that's what I would do.
So you do it at what, like 2 p.m. U.S. time? 7.
You could probably
that'd be
do
7.
later. You could
Yeah,
probably
so
do an hour
8.
later.
Yeah. So 3 p.m. our time. Yeah, that's not that bad.
That would be my guess. The problem with a pay per view is that time would always be, be a difficulty, right? If it's TV, it's a lot easier to kind of to pull off. I think
you could do a pay-per-view at 3 o'clock on a weekend.
Well, here's the thing, shoot. By the time June or July rolls around, it could very well be a different landscape in terms of their bit. Like they may have a deal with a certain streaming service, and if they have that deal, it would be a hell of a fit as a live event on that, wouldn't it? As a premium live event, dare I say, shoot.
There you go.
Okay, I love that we're talking about Craven Cottage on this night of all nights. God bless us, man.
AEW promotion celebration presented by Tony Khan.
It's just a great Union Jack comes up behind them. We're headed home, boys.
There's a 5-minute segment in the middle of the show with Fulham with the trophy, the championship trophy, and everyone's all pissed off on Twitter.
Yeah. Do we see Cody Rhodes tonight?
No.
God, it would rule if you did like 2 free debuts and then the segment before the main event, Cody came out and was like, "One night, huh? 4 free agents showing up in AEW," and then you had another one kick the shit out of him. Wouldn't that be awesome? Okay,
Yeah.
I think there's probably a lot of truth to this. It's probably going to be a package thing when the next TV deal's up. I don't know. We will see. We have more Grinner chats. Shoot.
Cool.
For some reason, people get very fired up on nights like this. We should thank Tony Khan more often. Can you DM him for me, please?
Sure. I only showed up because I saw there were 100 people on here, and I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta get on here and then claim I drew the house.
Yeah, that tracks. Okay, I'm looking here. Hops says, regardless of who showed up tonight, the fact that I'm this excited for a wrestling show is definitely a win. I think we can all agree on that, right? This is something that, and I don't want to sit here and be a big old nerd and over kind of be hyperbolic, but like, this is a very uniquely AEW Grin, this shit, right?
Yeah.
This is the one thing they've objectively brought back to the US scene. The nights like this is what they've brought back.
Yeah, and I think, the big thing is to be realistic with yourself. Like, I mean, I've spent all day going through all kinds of crazy scenarios in my head, but I'm also not, to the point where I'm going to get disappointed if it's Keith Lee. There are scenarios where, if it's Cody.
Only Cody, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's tough that you said that immediately after a bit where I claim there'll be 5 free agents, but I understand where you're going with that. Yeah. I'm sure it's fine. Okay, another one here. Riley says, Tony said on Busted Open, the Forbidden Door is to affect Rampage also. So what do you think happens on Rampage? Also, they've set up the Red Dragon Bucks match for pay-per-view. They have to set up. Yeah, that feels like something that's coming in for sure because the Bucks will be featured. Unless those two teams have to unite against some form of Bullet Club. Unless, right? Maybe. Just maybe. As for Rampage, it feels very much like a Jay White could wrestle. If he was on tonight's show, they could very much shoot angle it.
Rampage,
right?
Yeah.
It could also be an advertised promo segment, such as Samoa Joe slams the door shut on the World Wrestling Federation. Samoa Joe plays the game, and it has Triple H's logo behind him as a tease of what's to come.
Mustafa Ali and his lawyer. Legitimate lawyer, just like reading the contract on the air.
we go to court with Mustafa Ali. I am intrigued, and you know me, Shield. I'm a big old nerd for this, but man, am I intrigued by like the idea of doing something truly wild with the format. Like starting the show. Like, look, I know people rather rise at Bullet Club. I get it. I understand all of the issues. I get it. Could you imagine starting the show as usual and like when JR and Co run through the matches tonight, like the graphics come on the screen, Jay White, God, whoever else storms the ring, and you just do one of those moments where like the program is broke for a second there, and maybe John Moxley and Bryan Danielson fight them off, and they don't even realize they're working together. Maybe saying like something unique and dynamic and exciting. I get why people roll their eyes at it, but there's something to be said for just changing up the feel every once in a while,
Yeah, this is good. This is going to be a fascinating night. I'm also interested to see what the building looks like because this is a pretty historic building
awesome.
for pro wrestling. I don't know if you talked about that already.
No, I didn't.
Hopefully, it doesn't just look. I mean, it's going to look pretty much like Dynamite, but hopefully, you can at least, sometimes you can tell when they're in different places. I hope they make it obvious where they are.
Absolutely, I agree. Cody says, what would be the most outlandish yet realistic idea of a game-changing announcement? Mine is Tony bought Impact Wrestling from Anthem. Yeah, I would say the promotional buy would be a big one, but I think Regal is actually the answer to that, right?
Yeah.
That'd be a big deal. If he introduced Regal as if to say, like, this is the guy, I think that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
I mean, it would be very, like, it would kind of be inside baseball and weird, right? But
people love Regal, though. They would pop for it.
Yeah, my dad would, brother, great. We'd do a national holiday, I think.
Fair. Just comes out in that blue T-shirt that he just unveiled. We all lose our minds.
It pops me so much. Like, this whole thing is so much content, right? Because you just speculate and talk shit. And, my dad watches Dynamite nowadays, as I've said many times on these shows, and he's like, so what's happening? Then I go, I'm thinking Keith Lee and Jay White. And I sat there in silence for about 5 seconds, like, oh, he has no idea who either of those people are. That's not going to be nearly as fun for you. Hopefully Regal shows up.
I was like, I don't think Adrian knows who Jay White is. She knows who Keith Lee is, but yeah, this could be an interesting night in my household because I could be like, I mean, I'm not going to pop huge for Jay White. I don't actually have much of an opinion on Jay White yet. It's a clean slate for me. But yeah, there's definitely a chance I'm going to be much more excited than her tonight.
I'll be honest. I think as a guest, Jay White will be a pop. And that's what it will be because he has years on his contract. If in some way he's out and he's full-time AEW, which again, you don't need to say, folks, I know it's like not happening, right? I understand. However, he would be just about as good a signing as they could possibly do at this point. He's different. I mean, and Jack Crosby's full of shit, right? We understand that. But he's right on this one, shoot. Jay White he'd be a big-time player as a TV star. I mean, he's much more, to be honest, he's better suited on their TV than he is where he's at right now. He's just stylistically, he'd be a perfect fit as a top heel. So, we'll see.
And on that note, I'm out of here.
All right, pal.
My food's actually on time.
Have a good night. Don't get too fired up when Joe chokes out MJF for me, okay?
Yeah. Enjoy the show, guys. It's going to be a fun one tonight. Watch the post show with Joe and Jay Shell and all that good stuff. Maybe I'll show up. Probably not, but we'll let it play out.
Depends who shows up on the show, right?
There you go. Bye.
All right, pal. Speak soon. I'm sure shoot pop for me using my overlay immediately there. What crowd do you think AEW can pull off for a UK show? Stadium show for sure, I think, man. I think people have waited for years for that show, so I think you can do a stadium, definitely. Yeah, I don't disagree with Joe's take here about look, I think Jay is polarizing in ring. I think part of it is that I do think sometimes he's slightly out of place in terms of his choices, in terms of like what he prefers to do. I think sometimes it feels weirdly like an odd fit where he's working full time, which is strange. But I think as an overall package, he's like borderline perfect. He would be a big, big deal, man. And, this is a good point. Much stranger things have happened than working out that deal, right? He's been pretty patient here with the New Japan situation. So maybe there's something like that. I don't know, but I will say that if you can get a Jay White, you You move mountains to make sure, because he's a very, very special guy. Okay, let me have a look here. What else we got? Yes, Omega would definitely be a natural thing. Yeah, I don't think it'd be. I would say they could do 20 foot to 30, maybe a little bit more. That would be my guess, but I could be way misreading that. Like, it's really hard to get a gauge because the viewership, is like impossible as a read for where AEW's popularity is at, because most of their hardcore fan base does the Fight TV thing, you know. But I would guess they could sell 20,000 tickets here. No, I don't think I'm being bold when I say that either. This is factual. Imagine how high that would be. Feels like Joe needs to come in and save Punk in a segment out of nowhere. I don't know if I can make it in time. No, I agree. I think this is obviously the best way to bring him in. It doesn't feel like it's happening tonight, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happens here in the next few months. The other thing with Joey is, like, everyone's just assumed he has a 30-day, but he could easily have a 90-day no compete. Like, he's an NXT contract, but so is Biff. He had 90 days. You know, some of those guys do. So it wouldn't shock me at all if he had 90 days. Yes, he's a great, great heel. What else did I miss something here? TK said they were slamming the door with the forbidden. I think there's a good chance we get a one-off or like part-time thing, as well as the, big-time signing. I would assume that's what we're going to get. What's the most underwhelming announcement possible? Announcing West Coast tour dates? Yes, that would be wild. If that was the big thing, if it's just a bonus thing, that's fine. But yeah. Will they get over 1 million tonight? I mean, man, I'd love to say yes confidently, but last week was pretty surprising. If someone doesn't follow it, that kind of caught me off guard. So I don't know. I'll say yes, but if I'm wrong, you should not be surprised. I don't think it's the first time for two women's matches. No, I think they did it for. There was one where Britt had a squash, I want to say, and they did two, I think. But it's close, definitely. There's not many of them. Okay, what else we got? Can't bring myself to care about signings. I understand that. It's just the speculation is fun. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. Look, I'll be real. There is definitely a chance. There's definitely a conversation, I'd say, that you could have about why this stuff creates so much more excitement than anything else. This is not the time for me to have that conversation because I'm having so much fun with the one we're having right now. So, but I get that kind of that approach. Going back towards the Jay White thing, maybe New Japan realised he could do something better than dicking around on pre-taped Access TV shows, so they've work to do with AEW. Maybe. It'd be very exciting for sure. I have not seen the Biff match yet. I need to. I don't disagree with that, but he did sign like an NXT exclusive last time, so it's hard to say. Okay. Are we saying the world title match opens the show? I kind of want that to be the main. I would say it should be. I would say it should be the main, to be honest with you, because I don't know what else would be, to be frank. And it's not, I think Isaiah Cassidy's great, but no matter who he's wrestling in the debut, I don't think that's going to be the main event. I think they'll lead with the debut, probably. And then they'll finish with the world title match. That'd be my guess. I don't know. What else we got here? I would agree with this. I think Josh has got a very, very good point on this in terms of I wouldn't get too attached to the particular phrasing. It's fun to kick around, but I don't think it's a deal breaker for some of the names that have been said. It's, there was 4 of those. It didn't know particularly plotted. He just sort of tweeted and then would send another tweet explaining his last tweet. There you go. They've done it 2 or 3 times. Okay, what else we got here? They've confirmed the title is the main. There you go. Yes, there's definitely a chance Joe's out. We don't know. I would agree that this is probably the opener. The free agent debut. Whether we have more than that, we shall see. I also think Joe is great. I mean, last week Joe said that match was going to go 45 minutes, set, cradle to grave in terms of segments. So he's probably the person to look at here. He says he thinks that Isaiah is going to be in the ring to start the show. I would agree. What else we got here? My concern with Jay and any other possible New Japan names is that there's something to say about AEW not doing their job when it comes to introducing people to fans who aren't familiar. I would agree with that for sure. I think Jay is a unique case in that he has a certain presence and charisma that screams top guy. But I think your general point is very much fair. Again, I don't think it would hamstring Jay particularly, but some of the other names, I think more so. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what else we got here? There are just a few matches announced tonight. The main event doesn't look to be going long. This may be the start of a big angle, or just maybe wishful thinking. Well, look, here's the thing: some of those angles they've announced are going to be long, right? I think we can all agree. Like the Jericho segment's going to be long. So is the MJF segment. So we'll see. In terms of timing, I'm not trying to overthink it too much. How big of a pop would it be if it was Jeff Jarrett? Not a particularly big one, but it would pop you and I, which is what matters most. Is this the most a free agent signing has been teased by Punk and Christian? I mean, yeah, almost certainly, I would say. But it's kind of hard because it's a lot of people are really divided on that Christian thing. Like, I kind of think they matched what they advertised, but I'm a huge Christian fan. A lot of people have been saying this week, don't do another Christian. It's like, I was pretty happy with Christian. But I would say, yeah, those two are the obvious ones. I don't know why, but I feel like Jay is a guy you tease by name a ton of times. So when he finally shows up, it's like, oh, damn, he's here like Okada. It's certainly going to be interesting if we do get Jay White, what the reaction looks like, right? That would certainly be an interesting thing to watch, I feel. Like, just however he is live in a bigger arena. I mean, it's not like it's a stadium or anything, but it's going to be like 6,000 people there. It's pretty big. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Did the viewership go up when Shoot left? Yes, it did. Please tweet him that. Joe's is the highest viewed video you put out so far. Live it is, but unfortunately, we're going to get killed by the fact that there'll be no repeat value to this, unfortunately, unless people want to just laugh at me being wrong. Some videos the next day we get an awful lot. That probably won't be the case here because I don't see why anyone would want to watch the preview show after the show has happened. So I just thought tonight it was right. We kind of did this together and had fun. Factual. There you go. Christian rules. Do you think they'll ever do a debut by building up with vignettes rather than just as price? I hope so, man. I think it's a very valuable booking tool. It's not everyone's going to have the power in terms of fame and notoriety to get a big pop on the surprise. Sometimes vignettes can be useful. However, when it's a guy who's in kind of like a Keith Lee, you got to give him that arrival pop, man. It's big time. In the vein of Hanger and Omega and the eventual MJF Wardlow, are there any stories in their infancy now that you could see stretch for 2 years? Bryan Danielson's faction, I think so, Josh. My read on it is that Mox will just say no and they'll do a program. But there is a world in which you actually have Mox do it with Danielson for a while, and you could actually tell an overarching promotion, encompassing angle that lasts years. That one stands out for me. Okay. Factual. Save the Regal reveal for the UK show. My God. I love how much the UK show is like an established part of our identity and branding. It's a show that's just never been announced. It's tremendous. If it's Jay White, does that mean Elite versus Bullet Club or just Jay White? I would say the former, Ben. Make of it what you will, that when I talk about a group, I just say Jay White. But, at this point, you get what you get, I suppose. Should have done vignettes, Butcher and Blade. There you go. That's a great example of one they could have. Listen, this is one of my pals, but look at what he's doing here with this TikTok filth. Just awful. Awful, awful stuff. I would agree. I think the finish at Revolution, Brucey's now, I think, will be the young guys that Danielson has actually takes under his wing, helping him in that case. I think that's absolutely what you'll get. It's just, it is interesting to consider what it looks like if Mox actually joined, like what that looks like as a big angle. Darby and Sammy, absolutely, that's fair. I mean, this could be about me, or it could be about Brits in general. If it's about me, then I would like to make clear that I'm just not fiercely patriotic at all. But I do agree. I feel you. This feels like a direct shot on me, Dave. Listen, nothing but love for Danhausen, and God bless him. But when I'm sitting here pitching Sammy Joe, don't fire back at me with Danhausen. Another direct shot at me. Glad to see on this triumphant night that the most ardent supporters of the late night Grin are taking a good opportunity to lash out. Very fair. Bud Ryan has sent a Grinner chat. He says, nights like this are why I'm still a wrestling fan. Love the feeling of anything can happen. Love this stream. As someone without friends to mark out with. I almost just stopped at friends. That was mean, wasn't it? To mark out with. Happy to have the Grin. You guys are all glad to be on this journey with you all, Joe. I think that's something that's really been eye-opening for me in terms of like what what this is and what this kind of this time in wrestling is I realized last summer with the first dance especially, but with All Out too, like there's this weird deal where for a couple hundred you're spending this kind of wild boom period in terms of the industry itself, maybe not commercially but critically anyway. And we're kind of spending it together, and it's pretty awesome. I must say, it really is a cool deal. Very, very thankful for that opportunity. And it's wild that we get to do it now, even without the Fightful banner. That's crazy, man. So, thank you for everyone that joined me here. We still have about, I'm probably going to go for another 55 minutes. Give everyone like 15 minutes before the show, probably. This would pop me, I'm not even going to lie. Big Mance would pop me. Okay, what else we got here? Folks, look at that. Look at that. I froze as soon as Wyndham came up. Look at that. You see what happened? Cody's the first one to bring up Wyndham, and I immediately freeze. Immediately. On a scale of paper cut to double crimson masks, how bloody does the main get? Very close to the latter. Very, very close, I would say. I'd imagine. I think Hangman is a lock to bleed everywhere. We'll see in terms of Big Lance. He may not need to. Maybe more effective if he doesn't. In fact. Okay, what else we got here? Sammy gets saved by Darby and Sting in the Inner Circle segment. That'd be interesting. Slightly out of character, but interesting. How do you think Tag Team Battle Royale shakes out? And the winner gets a shot on TV, right? I don't know. It's hard to say because I don't know who the champ's going to be after that. I don't know what the pay-per-view match is for the tag titles. I don't know. It's very difficult to. I think we kind of all get the sense that the Kings of the Black Throne are going to be the next tag champs, but I don't think they'll be at Revolution. I think we're going to get Pac and Malachi at Revolution. Honestly, I could be wrong though. My God, now I'm freezing regularly. Look what Wyndham has done at this show. I'm catching up here, folks. Please do not cite the one name worse than Wyndham. That's not fair, Wyndham. I guess Cross is worse, right? I'm sure it's fine. It's all about the way you cut it, brother. True workers know. Don't worry about Hangman's forehead. It'll be fine. I will not let him in. Sean Rossat has confirmed it is not Ryback. I'll give that one scoop and only that one. Imagine if the show opens with Control Your Narrative. That would be incredible, man. Just somehow the wrestling world has decided that stuff sucks and TK is all in on it. Could you imagine? What a time to be alive, though. Jay Shell and I would have an incredible post show on that evening. Okay, what else we got here? Eric Red, God bless Eric. Now, look, in fairness, his single AEW performance is it's one of the greatest moments in promotional history. So I should take that part as a compliment. That was awesome. I'd actually be interested in Jurassic Express defending the tag belts in the tag battle route. Well, it's not carried away here. I mean, I understand not wanting to see the dinosaur wrestle. That seems a little bit too much. My calm and poised co-host here. A very fitting reaction to the control your narrative chatter. Well, it's very us that we've reached this point. Yes, the Oracle of Wrestling is. He's informed me he is not on tonight. I booked Jay Shell. He will be on pretty regularly moving forward. But Jay Shell and I, we have many. There's a lot coming, folks. We're gonna figure out a lot of different stuff to fill the late night Grim week with here, because none of us in the Grinner circle can quite believe that Jay Shell is on the platform. But while she's on it, before she gets very rich, we're going to try and maximize this moment in time, so to speak. Like Cactus Jack stopping through Extreme Championship Wrestling in 1995. We're going to get as many great promos as we can. Does a woman join a male-dominant faction AEW this year, and why is it Layla Hirsch in Team Taz? Someone else said this, but it's fair, right? What about Layla Hirsch in a Bryan Danielson's in Danielson's dojo or Dragon's dojo, whatever people are calling it? It could just be Dragon's Den. That pop me. Directly for Bob in that case. Who attacks Hangman after the main event? My guess is that's what they'll actually do with Jay White. That's my guess. I think that could very well be a triple threat at the pay-per-view, to be honest with you. But that's just me. I think they may do like the Kenta debut vibes, and then they'll post like a video on social after of a John Silver maybe challenging Jay, or do something like that. Very rich, very famous Patron. Good for Ed Redbeard. He seems like a very nice guy. Jurassic Express having the bells has taken too much attention and momentum away from any Christian heel turn, so the Gun Club must prevail regrettably. Josh, hey man, let's take it easy, okay? Early days. Let's not get panicked. Let's not get stressed out. And let's certainly not say words like the Gun Club must prevail at any point in our lives, especially on a day such as today. I understand your point. Just give it a minute, okay? Think a little bit. Let's not get carried away. The night is young. If we get a Control Your Narrative with Adam Cole segment tonight, the post-show could be an all-time. See, here's the thing. I don't get, the Control Your Narrative stuff wouldn't make me mad. I would just cackle laugh. And that would be an incredible case of a promoter misreading his audience, which is even funny with TK considering. If this is ECW, who's the rest of the Grin gang? Bob is the Sandman. Oracle is Raven. I'm obviously Terry Funk because I legitimize the group. I don't know who that makes shoot. Sabu? I don't know. It's good shit. We promise we'll not do that. Okay, what else have we got here in the chat? I could see this too. Maybe Jay White saves Hangman from the Elite and tries to get Hangman to rejoin. Definitely's a really interesting story to tell with those three, Bullet Club guys, right? There's definitely something you could do there, like something beyond just, it's a cool match on paper, but it would be interesting. God bless. Jay Shell's taking notes. Incredible professionalism. The only problem with Jay Shell is tonight, she gets to every show 15 minutes early. Tonight, she'd have just missed the end of Dynamite, which would be an incredible sacrifice. Yeah, this is for those of you that are new to this platform, or maybe just new to the live element, there is nothing more late night Grin than somehow on this night of all nights, us spending our time talking about Control Your Narrative and how funny or painful that would be. Amazing stuff. Oh man, bless Raven, he's really bad on the NWA show. NWA is God, it's a mess, man. Like, they could do just a nice 40-minute show, but they have two 40-minute shows. They don't have the talent to fill it. It's a shame. It's a terrible shame. What else we got here? Shoot has to be Tommy Dreamer without one. That feels like a major insult. Even with the murdering Paul Heyman part, that just feels... I don't know, man. Dreamer may be Bob on fault, really. Which I guess makes Shoot the Sandman, which better than being Dreamer, right? You know, I read the first few sentences, the first few words of that, and was like, this is worth putting on the screen. This feels like a fitting comment, a good question. I'll bring it, and then it's a Bob dunk. God bless it. Look at that. Jay was the first to test Hangman's confidence and realize a lot of this stuff's lost on me, folks. I missed the law on a lot of this. The art is the wave file for the Kendrick Lamar song "Sing About Me." I'm Dying of Thirst. It's a gift from a friend of mine. It's one of my all-time favorite tracks. Not wrestling, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your folks. I have more news that is definitely not news at all. Here we go. Jack Crosby has told me that he is logging off Twitter in fear of having the show spoiled for him tonight. He says he will talk to Shoot and I during the show, which could be a threat or a promise, depending on who you ask. In fact, should I try and get him on here, this piece of shit? Let me text him. Distraction legend. Let me text Jack Crosby. How much did the Ray and Eddie poster cost? Not much, man. That's on the Fed shop. That's on the Fed shop, and it isn't anything crazy. I don't think I'm even saying it in like a snobby way, because if I did, I would not say it. I would say it was expensive. I'm pretty sure it's not. Okay, I've offered a role for Jack here. Is Jack Cyrus the virus? Yes, absolutely he is. Yeah, what bums me about his poster is the way in this spot the lighting is terrible, so you can't even you can see it, but it looks like shit. It's a shame. Awesome deal. He's so excited about Jay White. Like, it's honestly a little bit embarrassing, and that's coming from me. Think of the lengths I've gone with a Roddy Strong or a Sammy Joe. He's been too much today, man. Talk about he's gonna, he won't be content with anyone but Jay White. It's a little bit out of control, to be honest. Shoot has just found out the viewership has gone up, which will hurt his ego greatly. Hope you can hear this. I'll be honest, and this is where I'm a layered individual, is I also popped for Dolph Ziggler. I mean, I wasn't watching, but when I saw the tweet, I was like, that rules. He did a promo thing with Tommy Ciampa on NXT 2.0. That's ridiculous. Me too, buddy. I'm excited for Jack too. Is Jack more excited about Jay White than he was for Karrion Kross? The Cross thing was more of a bit. He thought Cross had a lot of an upside and a big upside on the main roster, but it was very much a bit. By contrast, he is genuinely basically a stan when it comes to Jay White. So, I mean, fair, I understand. Look, JJ says it. Esteemed member of this great sport, JJ even says, I'm a major, long-time Jay White fan, and Jack is making me uncomfortable. That explains it very well. If it's a Jay White Karrion Kross double, you might just have to block Crosby and delete him from the Grin. Fair. There's multiple scenarios tonight in which Jack Crosby would have to be shunned from our brand. Who do you think winds up being the face of the Revolution, the Joker in the face of the Revolution that match? I would say Swerve would be my guess. Jack he's been a father again, that piece of shit. Okay. Yes, Ziggler dunked on Tommy Ciampa, popped me huge. Let me see what else we got. Does one of the surprises attack Hangman, and why is it Kona Reeves? I've heard it. Philly, I've heard Kona Reeves. Bob tweeted a picture of him from the airport. Yeah, we're very fired up about it. I'm not even gonna lie. We were talking about this the other day. Like, there's a real superstar there in Jay White, man. I hope that people realize if it's under the right circumstances, if it's just a one-off, then I get being kind of like, whatever. But if it's Jay White and Keith Lee, as I currently guess, I can't be whining about that. No way. I think that'd be way over delivering at that point, to be honest with you. Jay White's a big deal. Okay. You could also do for the Joker, I guess Johnny maybe would be more open to it then. That's like what we're looking at, 3-4 weeks. Kind of that spiteful you've just put in the chat. Very, very spiteful, but I respect it all the same. I'm not going to put it on the screen because I don't want anyone else to feel my pain like that. I'll just take the blow to the chest and move on. Who beats Sammy for the TNT title? And why is it Josh Alexander? My God. Andrade beats Sammy for the TNT title. Andrade's going to lose to Darby at the pay-per-view. Or that may be a triple threat, in fairness. But he will get the TNT title from Sammy. And he's going to be awesome at it. And he's going to get a chance to have matches regularly. And it's going to be my favorite thing on their show. I'm hoping for Regal and Joe to come out after the title match and Joe lays out Hangman. I think this is the thing with Joe that's interesting in these scenarios is like there's always this inclination that he should be a heel, right? Like he's such a great heel, I get it. But people are going to cheer him. So I think the Punk thing's better just because of that. That's just me, though. I mean, I'll take what I can get, really, but I want to take the Ziggler mention to remind the chat that Bob Roode is factually one of the best tag wrestlers of all time. Factual. Okay, what else we got here? Brian is very mad about Josh Alexander, which is fair. Wardlow, after winning the ladder match, takes the TNT. That makes a lot of sense. And they kind of built that some too, so yeah, that makes sense. What else we got here? Joe, what are your thoughts on Britt versus Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes? Three-way. I love that this show we've now just booked like multiple triple threats. I mean, it'd be awesome. I think there's definitely something you said for it. I would prefer, though, Evan, that instead we have an Athena come in to even up the odds. Maybe we do Athena Mercedes on the, maybe if it has to be on the buy-in, but it'd be nice as an undercard match. But I know it's stacked, so maybe as the buy-in. And Britt and Rosa as a singles with a cage stip would pop you more. But that's just me. I wonder how Miro fits in the picture again. Yeah, it's difficult. I don't know. It's there's a lot of guys right now. What else we got here? Hypothetically, if someone in the Fed was working without a contract and showed up tonight, who would make the most sense? Can't say Ali. Devitt, I guess. Claudio, one of those guys. God bless. Tony Khan comes out and says he signed Ben Simmons to a 6-year contract with a clause that says he can't go home in the middle of it. We're all overlooking Regal coming in for the NXT invasion angle. Brother, don't just know that would be a real range of emotions to me depending on who's in that invasion. Because if it's Karrion Kross leading the way and Biff even, if it's like guys like I'm good. You only need one guy to convince that's a good idea. There you go. Zach's on that. He knows what he's doing. Don't call it a comeback, right? We talked about AQA very, very briefly. I mean, I think we all agree that the intention is to sign her, right? I think there's a lot of I've only seen bits and pieces, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with her and Jade and how long they get. But I would expect AQA to be a pretty extended, long-term fit in the promotion, to be honest with you. Okay. I'm scrolling. When does Jeff Hardy debut, and will it be at the pay-per-view or after? I would say the Dynamite after. Has Juice signed anywhere yet? No. Who would be your top 3 pops for hilarious reasons? Yeah, they're 2 of them, Cross and Bud Matt. And the third would be Wyndham. Wyndham would be fucking hilarious. Okay. Do you ever see Sheeta or Deeb holding the world title? Not really, no. Sheeta obviously has, which is why I say no to her. Deeb, I don't think that's her role. I think her role is as the upper mid card kind of mechanic that gives you good matches on TV. That's just me, though. I don't know. I would see Deeb more as a TBS champ than the world champ. AEW should just run a mixed tag tournament so they can have Athena team with King so you can retire from wrestling talk because the business will have peaked for you. Very fair. She's very good, guys. I promise I'm not doing a bit with that. I know we do a lot of performance art here, but Athena's going to blow some people away if she has her feet under her and she's ready to go, because she's obviously been relatively inactive in the last couple of years. She's one of the great workers out. I'm telling you, she's been great for years. Has anyone suggested Paul Levesque? No, but we should have. Okay. There you go. Hardy's a good fit for the Joker. Have a feeling the big announcement is a stadium show. That will get interesting reactions, Dion. What if TK's big announcement is that Gabe is the head booker? Well, that would be even funnier that he tweeted an hour ago that AQA has got top gal potential, because it would actually have just been him putting himself over. Riho versus Athena would be wild. Absolutely it would. Jeff and Matt have a tag match on the night of Revolution in Maryland Championship. Oh, well, there you go. Owned. Triple H going to AEW. That's actually the funniest. You're right. That's very fair. Is MLW doing teasers for his boy Killer Cross enough for Jack to watch? Absolutely not. He'll never watch that show again. I send it as a bit sometimes because I'd like to let him do a podcast. But he's a coward. In fact, I'm actually going to text him that now, coward. Very spitefully. What if John Cena comes out in his Peacemaker gear and does the dance? I don't know what the dance is, but sounds fun. It's John Cena, right? Pretty hilarious. I'd be very interested in a free agent Thatcher match versus Mox. I mean, that would be awesome. Tim Thatcher feels like he would be an incredible fit for the revived Ring of Honor. Now, whether he wants to work on that pay scale, which I'm unaware of as to this point, I do not know, but stylistically, my God, that'd be a good fit. The thing is, the CM Punk debut was also labelled as a huge announcement from Tony Khan, but it never actually involves him. They should, there's definitely huge announcement from Tony Khan has almost always meant huge announcement from Tony Schiavone. So, absolutely, good point. Who would you give as a mouthpiece to Athena? I wouldn't as a babyface, because I think the way they book, especially in that division, you could just do pre-tapes or promos and you should be able to splice together a good 30 seconds. To me, she's such a natural fit for them because she can have long matches better than just about anyone that they've got. I mean, there's a handful that I would put on her level. But the promo stuff, other than Britt, is kind of limited anyway, right? So I'm not saying that's a good thing necessarily, but in her case, I think it's a benefit. I would just stick to pre-tapes and leave it at that, personally. Thatcher and Biff, both as a team, but even just both singles in RH. Very good. This would be something, wouldn't it? That would be pretty wild. I mean, I don't know if it would be actually good. It would just sort of be nuts. I mean, Kerry Silken is there, right? From what I can gather. Or he was just with the Bucks at some point this week. I don't know. Yeah, Biff and Thatcher would be awesome. I agree with Dragon King. I think that Thatcher had a hell of a run in NXT. Unfortunately, it changed in a way that made him it rendered him completely without use. The initial run he had was damn good. What if the Forbidden Door guy was Jonathan Gresham? I would pop probably more than anyone else in the world for that. Whether people think it's a big deal or not, I wouldn't even care because it would pop me so much. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. It would be a big deal to me, and that's enough for me. I don't think it will be, though, because ladder match, and I also just think he's really locked in on being the Ring of Honor guy, which, God bless him. Wrestling's better for that, to be honest with you, so there you go. Who will the Hardys face first in AEW, and why should it be against Private Party or Top Flight? maybe even Cody and Dustin. I would guess first that they do because they're going to do the AHFO angle. I would guess that first they could very likely do Butcher and Blade and then Private Party. Beforehand, I would have said TH2, but it appears they are just not part of that faction anymore. So before I would have said they worked all three teams, but yeah, they'll do those two. And then you get into the big ones, right? The Bucks, FTR, Lucha Bros, so on and so forth. Any opinions on AQA? Well, I've seen clips only, unfortunately, but I hear great things, and hopefully, catch up here shortly. There's too many wrestlers that I just hear about and don't watch. She's one of them, unfortunately, but she has rave reviews, so people are very excited about her signing. From what I can tell, Jay Show is very fired up, so maybe she can inform me of some of the details. Is James Gibson Ring of Honor Hall of Fame worthy? Probably not, but only because of how short the run was. He was incredible there. Had some great matches, but that is a very short run, relative, What gimmick would NXT 2.0 give Thatcher, an English school teacher? I don't know. I think there's a part of this that's right. I think there's half of it that isn't. I think Angelico is actually good, still. And John says similarly. Jack Evans is, he's declined some. We understand. That is what it is. But Angelico's been really good on those C shows. I think it'd be kind of unfortunate if but they may want to stay as a team, so I don't know. JJ here with a scoop says TH2 is billed as AHFO at the Dark Team. So there you go, folks. Maybe they're sort of like on the kind of the border of the, they're like, because maybe they're not considered to be full time for long. They're just going to kind of be guys they book in and out on C shows, on the bubble, so to speak. What surprise debut would pop you the most? Samoa Joe. Easily every day of the week and twice on Sunday. Would be spectacular. I would do a 12-hour at least, maybe 24-hour stream. Does the Don 18 Taz feud ever get properly back on track? Where do poker parties go from here? It feels very much to me, Josh, like the kind of thing that you should just conclude at this point. I mean, maybe that's unfair, but that's where I'm at personally. I think they should probably move on. It looks like they're doing Hobbs and Dante again, though, so I'll let it play out. But I don't really see a good route because without Leo, there is really no story. I don't think the story when he was there was told very well. So, yeah, that's been a shame. What else we got here? Yes, Angelico and Ring of Honor would be incredible. Yeah, you remember on the roster's changed an awful lot since, two and a little bit more, right? 2 years and change. Incredible. 2 different comments calling them the NWOB team. Owned. I actually wouldn't be surprised to see Gresham and Angelico for the title on a weird indie show. That would be awesome. Stylistically, they'd be a real natural fit. This is so spiteful, man. Like, come on. I have to watch like Adam Cole matches every week, guys. Let me live. There's no need for this constant attacks on wrestlers I like. Okay? No need. It's filth. Between the Dante feud and the Brian Cage feud, Team Taz has absolutely terrible luck. Yeah, man, you ain't wrong. I mean, they need a big program after this. They need like a state of actual substance with top guys that brings them up rather than them falling down further. It's a shame. And yeah, when Darius is back, you're not wrong. That's probably a big part. Blake Christian, he's good. That's a nice one. I mean, Ring of Honor is different because they're not going to be contracted, right? So it's a case of probably going to be kind of rotation, which I think will be good. I mean, there's probably going to be a lot of the original Ring of Honor ingredients in there. They need to start announcing guys soon, though, because the hype of the Hall of Fame can only get you so far when it comes to selling tickets for events. I mean, you have to, roll out some matches here shortly. We're under 2 months now. Okay. Seems like Team Taz are going to start a fight with the Factory. Sorry to hear that. They should run Starks and Hangman. Starks is 100% main event ready, and there's a story with Paige being the one that broke his neck last year. I agree with that. In an ideal world, Ricky was in a better position to do the feud they're doing now, honestly. But yeah, I agree. Give Starks another win, and hopefully he's ready to go for that. It'd be a nice test for him. That'd be a good Battle of the Belts main event too, right? Would you go solo for 12 hours or have guests every hour? I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I haven't really thought it through. I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be for charity. That's all I know. But it'd be a fun task. I'm sure it wouldn't end in tears. I think they should just have Team Taz be baby faces. I agree. Fair. Does AEW actually have any top tier face factions? No. Unless I'm being on chat's probably better answering it than I am. I think sometimes they get really over reliant on those pre-tapes, right? Which I think are less effective than they believe they are, unfortunately. So yeah, I agree. Hook wins the TNT title after Ash. They do a show there this year. Hook is going to be a fascinating case to follow. Yeah, you got to maintain that hype. You got to protect him, but you also don't want to slow him down. You want to keep it going, right? It's a lot of momentum. It's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a challenge. They're going to have some hurdles, I'd assume, along the way in terms of his position, but he feels like a phenomenon right now. So I like that being penciled in. Okay. The Elite will turn face this year. There you go. That's a good answer. Oh, the Inner Circle. Yeah, there you go. Which, again, that could end tonight. Hook versus Ricky Starks. What two singles wrestlers do you see most likely trying a two-man power trip gimmick? Danielson and Punk will be my initial answer. Yeah, there you go. Mercedes and Thunder was all pre-tapes. Yeah, they get very. I think they get overly reliant on that. It's kind of a crutch. Like they're good, but you don't want to. You don't want to lean on those too much. I don't think they do as much for the live crowd as they think. At team meet, yeah. I don't know, Bill. Jericho he has many flaws, which we don't need to get into here. But historically, when he has this idea for a big angle, it's like there's a chance. There's a 50-50. All right. My guess is it will be the 50 that you're referencing quite confidently. There's a chance he has a big idea for it. So we shall see. Joe Shell was talking about passing out, which seems bad. I don't talk about Joe anymore. Don't have an app. He'll get very mean. I'm not going to mention his name on this show again. I'll talk about him on the exclusive Ring of Honor podcast when he goes back there. Hook can defend the FTW title against mid-carders, and then main eventers to raise him up. FTW feels like a very good fit. I would agree. Yeah, I am very hesitant on turning the Bucks babyface. I have to admit, I think they're much better as TV personalities as heels. Fred Yehai, awesome talent. I would like to see Fred, and I know it sounds like I'm doing a bit, but genuinely, because he's been doing stuff there, or was doing stuff there. Fred feels like a guy that should build around in Ring of Honor. I mean, I'd like him to get a better opportunity, but it feels like it's not happening. I'm waiting for years for that, so Ring of Honor would be a really natural one for me. I've been saying it for so long, it's boring now. Oh my God, self-burial. But I want Mox to do a branch of Suzuki-Gun in AEW. Him, King, Darby, Stang, maybe a young guy. It would certainly rule if they did like faction warfare with this, right? And King and Mox recruited guys that pop them. It'd be fun. Which of the potential surprises would please Papa Holbert most? Regal or Joe? Joe mostly because of like the fact they would pop, I can't even talk about Joe. I shouldn't even say it. Regal. If King can't get at least 15% of old Jericho back out on the mic, we need to have a discussion about it's time to let Jericho go. I agree completely. This feud, what's fun about this feud is sink or swim, especially if Jericho's a heel. If heel Jericho can't get anything of his old self against Eddie Kingston, who is made to measure for him as a rival, he's fucked. To be frank. There you go. Yeah, some of those big segments have hit with Chris. I'm not writing this one off. He might have a big idea. They're very spiteful. We talk about it a lot, brother. They're very, very, very spiteful. How would you book Roddy's AEW debut? He beats everyone, kicks the shit out of Adam Cole, flings him up into the banners. Does a backbreaker on every wrestler. I don't do backstage vignettes with him walking around just snatching guys and flinging them up in the air. Fucking rules. Still staggers me that Yohai hasn't been signed by one of the big two. Me too, bro. It's wild. Like, he's so good. And that's why I said the Ring of Honor thing. I know it sounds like an insult because well, it's not a big opportunity in terms of exposure or money. But for Fred at this point, it doesn't feel like a stretch because he just hasn't been able to land in any of those places. It's weird. It's frustrating as a fan of his. Rather have a Jericho in a circle segment than anything Dan Lambert and Brandy Rhodes. We can all agree on that. Hager turns on the inner circle tonight to join Lambert's team. Wow. Red hot, brother. Just when you think Lambert stuff can't get any better, we give him Jake Hager. Over under 1.5. How many Lambert segments tonight? Under. I think you may actually, unless you count him just standing at ringside with Archer, I think that'll probably be it. I hope anyway. God, that was bad last week. It was fucking terrible. Dukes is saying that Bobby Fish is better than Roderick Strong, and he's a moderator. So, what possible chance do we have? Do you think they'll ever go back to the Mox King tag team? I miss them. I do too, Justin. I think they will go back to it. I actually think they're going to. It wouldn't surprise me if they got them tag belts here at some point next year. It's the belt that makes most sense for Mox, and it's also a way to kind of pay off Kingston's arc. So, yeah, I think they'll go back to it. I hope they do too, though. I miss it. Do you think Brandy will be the one to beat Jade? I do not. I think Garcia has real potential to be the top heel in AEW just because he can get so nasty in ring. I do too. It's just it's a ways away, right? And I think, Josh, probably you're aware of that when you say it. It's like it's one of those deals where you got to be patient and let him find himself as a personality and such. But he's in ring, he's a prodigy. He's very, very special. That crop of guys is very exciting. Him and Moriarty obviously lead the class, but it's interesting for sure. Watching them build him up the card, you can see how highly they think of him. He's been on TV a bunch since he came in, and rightly so. I just wonder what the kind of balance that is at some point. I think someone new joins the inner circle. Can't see Sammy turning. Oh God, I hope it isn't someone I like. That made me mad. This was awesome, but I can't comment on Samoa Joe anymore for political reasons. What's the highest ceiling for Garcia? The World Heavyweight Champion, brother. The top guy. The ace, the centerpiece, the guy that gives you 5-star matches every night. He's that special. It's just a matter of getting the little things around him to make it work. You think TK would dunk on you for your AEW takes because he's sensitive, or make you book a man, Joe? The first one. And it ain't even a dunk about being sensitive. It's just like no one gives a shit about my thoughts on their product, And fair, very, very fair. And they shouldn't either, but some of them should. Maybe not Tony Khan, but some of the other dipshits out there should. Yes, this ruled. You're starting a Fed. Which, if any, of AEW's young talent do you take over Bron Breakker? That is one hell of a question, Josh. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I do. And that's pretty wild for me because Very seldom does the talent over there impress me the way he has, but he is quite special, folks. He's something. He's had like 20 matches. Yeah, he's pretty special. What else we got here? When will Rampage go live in 2 hours every week? Maybe the next TV deal or before. Yeah, I think it's probably further away than we think sometimes, to be honest. Any chance Inner Circle splits tonight and the feud turns into Jericho, Danielson, and Danielson's proteges versus Mox, King, Santana, and Ortiz? I mean, that'd be pretty fucking awesome. I don't know if it's possible or likely, but it'd be awesome. Wardlow versus The Blade has been announced. I'm not doing a breaking news for that, but that's fine. I don't know if I can do Hook over Braun, man. Hook's really cool, but I just haven't seen enough yet. Braun's wild, man. He's ridiculously good. I'm telling you, it's okay. Braun or Carmelo? Braun, but that's not a knock on Carmelo. It's just a matter of his inexperience makes him special. Carmelo's money too, and that act is really good. Yeah, look, I think there's a handful of wrestlers that get it and understand opinions and such, but there are definitely some that are just, in their own. They kind of have that look of if you're out of the game, what business you have talking about, right? I think Braun is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not too fired up about the Wardlow thing, but it's the MJF thing's interesting, so that's why I didn't pop for it because it's just like it's fine. It's just a familiar player. It's nothing crazy dynamic or anything. It'll be interesting how much they give Blade because Blade isn't a local guy, so it will certainly be something to see. Fair. This isn't fair, Evan. This is not fair. Because if you do that, then it's like, well, shit. Baron Corbin's better than Jonathan Gresham. Look at those big arenas he's wrestling to. You can't do that. That's not fair. Because you could equally say, if Bron Breakker was only wrestling 1 minute matches on TV, like you could build a very different aura. He's doing full main event matches. That's not fair. And again, I don't watch that show. It looks like it sucks most weeks. I'm just being honest. Does that mean WWE will do a good job with him? No. It means that if I was having a promotion, Bron would be a priority to me. He's wild. I agree. The Wardlow stuff's very effective. It isn't my favorite thing. It's not something I'm really invested in, but that doesn't mean it isn't effective. What else we got? There's some Zion comparisons, which is popping me huge. Right, there you go. There you go. Much better than what I came up with. Hook's a shooter, right? From what I gather. Right, Duke says it right. This is the actual truth, okay? All bits aside. It's hard to judge Hook when we hadn't seen a real match. Exactly that. He has this incredible presence and vibe and charisma. He's very special and exciting, but until we see an actual match, he can't be compared to Bron Breakker, who's having, 15-minute main event matches and looking every bit worthy of it. I mean, the match he had with Roddy and Ciampa, they're like, he looked incredible in those matches. He looked like he belonged against really polished pros. So he's as good a prospect as I've seen in years. Seriously, he's wild. Yeah, factual. I think Hook has better upside. Maybe, but I don't really see the limitations on Braun beyond the fact that he works for WWE and they're probably going to fuck him. That's I think Braun he's a smashing machine, and he could be a big deal. I don't expect Cardona, Josh, but it'd be interesting. My God. This is fair, but I referenced that. I get that, but you can't. The question is just if they're both on the board for your promotion now, was the question, right? My Fed, I'm going Braun for Hook because I've seen more of Braun. That's all. Do I think Hook, Braun will have a better career? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I froze. Not necessarily because he works for WWE, but you see my point. Okay, enough about NXT, guys. Anyway. Yes, Bron Breakker is a bad name, but also, there may be some reason you don't want to be associated with Steiners. There's James Harden talk. Kerry Silken has posted a picture of CM Punk, folks. God bless and all how. Being in Atlantic City this evening, some sort of casino announcement seems likely. Oh, great. Okay, folks, we're here. We're going to be doing another just under 10 minutes. Stark's follow-up tonight, I called him off. You got a follow-up. But again, it'll be one of those schnazzy, I would do an interview. Match is announced to Somewhere. Yeah, I agree. It's got to be a big night for the Angles, right? I think Revolution would have taken shape very much this evening. Will be my guess. When Jason and I talk, I'm assuming the Revolution will be looking a lot more kind of set in stone, so to speak. Okay. What else have we got, folks? Do we have any final thoughts before this this event that will definitely not end in anyone's tears? Jay Shell has announced that she will have a Starks exclusive tonight. Scoops already, folks. Other than WWE doing something insane, which is 50-50 these days, Bron Breakker will probably main event 5 Manias. Bro, listen. I agree. But that part about WWE doing something insane can't be slept on. That's correct. Well, how little they've got out of Ricochet is fucking insane. And not only have they got little out of him, they've convinced their audience he sucks too, which is an all-timer. Folks, Ring of Honor are doing an invasion angle tonight. Breaking news. Get ready. The set will be torn down. Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, and the Briscoes are going to run rampant. Adam Cole may be there too. Sorry to hear that. So, do you predict Adam Cole lays out Hangman post-match? I mean, maybe. Yeah, I think it's a fair prediction. I don't know if it will happen, but it definitely feels feasible. Will you be doing watch along for the pay-per-view? Nah, man. When I watch like shit I'm reviewing or I'm interested in, I can't do the watch along because I just can't. I can't do dead air. So then, like, I just talk the whole time. Bad. I end up not watching anything. Joe, what would you do if Danhausen and Kersh? I mean, it can't be any worse, right? Like, let's be honest. I lose at every turn. So, yeah, Ricochet's great. Matt Taven. I wrote about this earlier, but they did that On and No More thing, which is it's quite bad, unfortunately. But Kenny King can breathe some life into it. It popped me huge that Kenny King was like a turning point for the angle. You get what you get, I suppose. All right, 5 more minutes, guys, and then we will go and watch the Dynamite. I need to set up the stream for the post show. So, my God, some major allegations being thrown Matt Taven's way. I would talk about what why Ring of Honor will be fine and who's coming home, but I'm not allowed to talk about that. Okay. Yes, Kenny King is like we talked about this on the Final Battle review. He's very much a case of a guy that, because people don't see him as a main eventer, and rightly so, they dismiss him, but he's actually good TV. Legitimate promo he brought to that whole thing that was not there before. God bless him. Yes, I'll be reviewing No Surrender, Jay Shell. You may be reviewing it with me. What else we got? Yes, there are spoilers out there. It's relative anyway, but just don't look into it because you'd be better off about at this point. If you knew who the debut was, would you keep it a secret or spoil the surprise? I mean, with you guys, I would keep it a secret, but it depends. If I found out secondhand and I couldn't, share, then I would obviously keep it secret. If I had a scoop, I'm running that thing. If I could add scoop stuff to the late night grins portfolio, oh wow! There you go. Well, we can do that, Joshua. We can do that review show. That could be something we piece together. Much more fun than me sitting talking about Impact on my own. Also, you get paid by Impact, so you'll be more positive than I. It is sure nice to be excited about professional wrestling. You found out Jay White, would you tell Crosby? Yes, he told me homicide. I was trying to avoid spoilers for Rampage, and he texted to me, homicide. Okay. Yeah, listen, man, we just added Jay Shell. At this point, scoops wouldn't even surprise me. Wouldn't even surprise me. If Tanahashi versus Moxley ever happened, yes, sir. This year, I'm sure it will happen. See how I did that? See how I said that like I knew? It's fucking awesome. You wonder why people take my shit the wrong way and think I'm scooping. Amazing. Okay. We are winding down. I want to remind you all here that Jay Shell and I will be live immediately after Dynamite. I mean, give us like 5 minutes, but relative. And we'll be reviewing the show top to bottom. Jay Shell is apparently taking notes. I think if it's as crazy as it might be, we're going to be pretty loose with it. Just talk shop. Hopefully, we'll have some Grinner chats to file through. That'll be tonight. Same channel. Same channel. Same deal. All the above. Oh my God, man. Me sitting here and getting a text and just hitting the breaking news. I would love for Jay Shell is going to be doing something of that. Jay Shell's got you covered on that, Tope. I don't do interviews because, I'm just not good at it. But there you go. Jay Shell has. I didn't know if that was fully out there. She has an interview coming with Darius. So there you go. Congrats on outdrawing first round MLW. That's true. That is hilarious, but I doubt it is. All right. I think it's almost time to wrap things up. I can hear myself now via my phone, which is bad. I think this is going to be one hell of a night, folks. I really do. Absolutely love this whole shit that Tony Khan allows us with his many tweets and graphics and all of that great stuff. Okay. Reminder. This very channel, live, post-Dynamite, review, Jay Shell and I. We will have much to talk about, for better or worse. And other than that, I think that's just about everything covered. Thank you for joining me here tonight. We've had over 100 people for much of this stream, which is insane. I hope you all enjoy Dynamite. Keep grinning. All hail. And hopefully we have a victory lap ahead rather than something much more grim. TikTok, let him in.